If one day the man you love had to choose between you and his ex-wife, would you have the courage to wait for his answer? A warm family and a happy home, that's Maya's small, but sacred dream. But in today's episode, the real storm is about to come. D will be forced to confront his ex-wife. Will he let his heart lead him, or will he stand firm, choosing to stay by Hinn's side to rebuild the house of love together? And if D's hands were missing, could that dream home ever rise, or would everything crumble from the ground up? Join us, because behind every moment lie secrets, struggles, and decisions capable of changing the future forever. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes full of emotion for D. Today is a day full of emotions. After so many years of silence, his ex-wife suddenly contacted him and asked him out. He walked quickly, his heart full of conflicting thoughts, but his gaze steady, as if he were ready to close a chapter in his life. The atmosphere was fraught with tension. His ex-wife, long gone, appeared with a cold demeanor and a haughty gaze. She stood up and, in a cutting voice, declared, "I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Let's finish here. From now on, we'll each go our separate ways." Her words fell like a knife, causing murmurs among those present. Everyone thought he would suffer, that he would try to hold her back. But, on the contrary, he closed his eyes for a moment and smiled calmly. He stood up and, in a calm but firm voice that filled the entire courtroom, replied, "Good, that's exactly what I've been waiting for years. I want to finalize all the paperwork today so I no longer have any ties to you." She was a little surprised. She hadn't expected such determination, narrowed her eyes, and smiled disdainfully. "It seems you already have a place to return to, a small house, a new wife, and even a child who isn't yours." It was a challenge. But D didn't back down. He raised his head, and happiness shone in his eyes. "Yes, that's my true family. I choose Hinn and Maya, and I will protect them until the end." In that instant, all the weight of the past faded away. But just as the judge was about to finalize the decision, the ex-wife let out a cold smile and said, "Don't worry, I don't want to hold you back either, but do you really think you can hold on to that fragile happiness as long as I'm still involved?" Her words lingered in the air, leaving everyone with a feeling of unease. Hinn sat silently under the eaves, staring into the distance. Inside, a feeling of unease was growing. If one day D were no longer by my side, could Maya still be happy? The question swirled around in her head like an invisible wound. The midday sun beat down, heavy and suffocating. Hinn turned her head slightly and, in a soft voice, but laden with hidden concern, said, "Maya, play with Vivi." "Yes, that way Mom can work." Maya obediently hugged the little dog in the yard, though her clear eyes followed her mother's every move. Without waiting any longer, Hinn entered the corner of the house where the simple tools were arranged: a worn iron hammer, some rusty pliers, and several newly brought axes. She ran her hand slowly over each stem, feeling their firmness. She took a deep breath and climbed onto the frame of the still unfinished house. The sun illuminated her tanned face. Sweat ran down her forehead. She tied the rope tightly around the post and raised the hammer, striking it decisively. The clock clanged like a declaration of her determination to rebuild a home. "Mom, be careful," Maya called out, her eyes full of worry. "Where is Mom's uncle? Why isn't he helping us?" Hinn stopped her hand for a moment, her lips trembling, but she quickly smiled reassuringly. "Uncle D is only busy for a moment, but he will come back to us. Now Mom will take care of the house, and when he returns, we will have a strong place to live together." Maya pursed her lips, clutched the small doll to her chest, and whispered, "I'm just worried that you'll get tired, Mom. I want Uncle D to come back soon." The sound of the hammer echoed again in the empty courtyard. Each blow on the bamboo seemed to dispel their fears, but, at the same time, held a fragile hope. The sun was high in the sky. The scorching heat rose from the ground. Hinn continued to work tirelessly with the thick bamboo poles. Sweat soaked her back. She tightened her grip on the rope, climbing higher to secure the crossbeam. The hammer hammered loudly, clock, clock, resonating in the air. But at that instant, the rope slipped with sweat, and Hinn lost her balance. "Mom, be careful," Maya cried, her eyes wide open, her voice trembling. Hinn tried to hold on, clutching the bamboo frame with her hands, her face ashen, her heart pounding. The hammer fell with a clatter to the ground, very close to where Maya was. Frightened, the little girl ran, hugged Vivi tightly, and with tears in her eyes, begged, "Mom, don't go up anymore. I'm so scared. If Uncle D were here, you wouldn't have to do it alone." Panting, Hinn sank to the ground, her hands still shaking. She hugged her daughter with a broken voice. "Maya, calm down. I promise I won't let you worry, but we have to secure this house so you have a safe place to stay." Maya looked up with her clear eyes, full of confidence, yet concern. "Then Uncle D will come back, Mom. I miss him so much." Hinn held her close to her chest, her eyes fixed on the unfinished frame, her face marked by determination and a deep sadness. She didn't reply, letting the wind play with her sweat-drenched hair. In that instant, Dee's figure appeared like a shadow in both of their minds, leaving the onlookers with the inevitable question. Will he be back in time before everything surpasses Hinn's strength? Maya clung even more to her mother, her small face dissolved in tears. Hinn threw her arms around her, her heart heavy. "If Dee isn't with me, will I be able to keep Maya happy?" Suddenly, hurried footsteps and a familiar warm, but broken voice were heard from the entrance. "Hinn, Maya." Maya immediately lifted her head, her moist eyes shining with joy. "Uncle D." "Mom, Uncle D is back." Dee rushed in. Seeing Hinn sitting on the floor, still trembling from the shock, he threw himself at her and hugged her tightly. His voice broke with emotion. "Hinn, are you okay? Forgive me. Forgive me for leaving you to carry everything alone." Surprised, she felt a huge weight lifted from her shoulders in that instant. She shook her head, the tears rolling down her face, but with a smile on her lips. "I'm fine, I just needed you back." Maya threw herself into Dee's arms, sobbing, but with happiness in her voice. "Uncle D, I was so scared. But now that you're here, I feel safe now." Dee held them both in a hug full of strength and tenderness, his eyes radiating with love and determination. "I promise you, I will never leave again. I will build this house with all my heart so that the three of us can live in happiness." In that instant, the midday sun seemed to soften. The wind caressed the bamboo canes. Laughter mingled with tears, but they were no longer of fear. They were tears of faith, of hope, for a home that was being reborn. The afternoon was falling. The light of the setting sun bathed the entire courtyard in gold, while the shadows of the bamboos lengthened on the dusty earth. Hinn stood next to Maya, her eyes shining, looking at Dee. The three of them were silent for a moment, as if enjoying this reunion after so many storms. Dee bent down to pick up the fallen hammer, his strong hand firmly gripping the wooden handle. He turned to Hinn and Maya and, with a slight smile, said, "Come on, let's rebuild this house together, a house that won't just be made of bamboo and wood, but of the heart of our family." Maya let out a joyful exclamation, her cheeks stained, but her eyes beaming. "I want to help too. I'm going to pass the ropes to Mom and the hammer to Uncle." Hinn laughed through her tears, tenderly stroking her daughter's hair. "Yes, Maya will be Mom and Uncle's little assistant." The sound of the hammer and tools mingled with the children's laughter. Dee climbed the sturdy bamboo structure, tying each knot. Hinn held the poles from below, and Maya quickly reached for the pieces of rope. Sweat dripped down their faces, their hands turned red, but a strange and powerful happiness shone in their eyes. When the last beam was secured, the red of the sunset covered the unfinished roof. The soft breeze carried the smell of freshly cut bamboo and the salty taste of effort. Dee sat on the eaves, holding Hinn and Maya tightly. His voice hoarse but firm as an oath, he pronounced, "This house will never again be just a dream. It will be our true home." Maya rested her head on Dee's shoulder and murmured softly, "With Mom and Uncle by my side, I am happy now." Hinn looked at Dee with eyes full of love. The evening sky was tinged with calm, a harbinger of a new beginning for this little home.